It's lazy propaganda. And I'll just use that as one quick example. Like, how many have there ever been Palestinians or Hamas who have threatened America? Well, yeah, of course, threatened Americans. Yeah, of course, death to America.
What's going on, you guys? Emma Vigeland is ripping Steven Crowder up to shreds. Steven Crowder is lying about Gaza. Emma Vigeland is setting the record straight. I'm giving my commentary as well. Let's get into it.
And we've been seeing an interesting split on the right that we've just talked about a bit in the context of the Tucker Carlson interview on Israel. You know, like Ben Shapiro, obviously massive Zionist, has taken some heat from his audience for his full-throated support for this genocide. And then you have the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Tucker Carlsons, the Candace Owens of the world, who are framing the genocide of Palestinians as in some way discriminatory towards Christians and trying to, you know, attack it from an isolationist perspective, which is earnest, but also has these anti-Jewish undertones to it. And so where will Steven Crowder land? How will he land this plane? Will he be able to do so convincingly? I'm actually genuinely curious. I haven't seen this yet. Matt, you can set this up.
Well, this video is called "This Fall Off Needs to Be Studied," and it's about Tucker Carlson. So here is...
Wait, okay, so fall off, definitionally he's not, because I don't love this fact, but he's one of the top political podcasts in the country.
Yeah, and Crowder is, you know, like I said, beneath notice most of the time.
Yeah, all right.
So a little bit of projection here, but here is Zionist Steven Crowder.
Oh.
It's lazy propaganda. And I'll just use that as one quick example. Like, how many have there ever been Palestinians or Hamas who have threatened America? Well, yeah, of course, threatened Americans. Yeah, of course, death to America.
That's the so-called threat. So, like, right, like in the context of this conversation, they say actually Palestinians or even Hamas doesn't actually threaten America, even though they say death to America. The reason they say that is because we're the one giving Israel all of the weapons. But there's not actually, they don't target Americans. That's something Israel does and gets away with it.
Israel has certainly killed Americans directly.
Exactly.
U.S. Well, currently Palestinian Americans, but we can look up the USS Liberty and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. They get away with it because of people like Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
And Christians do need to not take Steven's route on this. I'll just say that.
An individual American on American soil? Well, no, because we've had security measures to make sure that doesn't happen.
What?
It's silly.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And Emma Vigeland is completely in the right. IDF, the Israeli military, they have murdered Americans in cold blood, and America has done nothing about it, right? You have Rachel Corrie. She was run over by it was a military bulldozer in Gaza while protesting all the demolition that was going on. You have Ajanor Aji. She was shot by the Israeli forces, and they said it was an unintentional hit. And then you have Saifullah Mosalet. This was recently. This was, I believe, in July. He was beaten to death by Israeli settlers in the West Bank, and Israel's done nothing about it.
A missile from Iran couldn't reach this country. We don't have that capacity. Palestinians don't have an airport. They don't have an army. They don't have a long-range weaponry. Are we serious? What is he talking about here? They can't even hit Israel with rockets. You think they can hit the United States?
Steven Crowder subscribes wholly to the post 9/11 hysteria where people like leaders, Zionists in the Project for a New American Century were blaming Palestinians for the hijackings with zero information because it served the interest of Israel and what they want to do in terms of having a pretense to massacre people and then take their land.
It's lazy, it's dumb. And considering how aggressively Tucker Carlson goes after people with whom we would agree more, for example, Ted Cruz is not perfect. He annoys me, if anything.
Yeah.
Oh.
But certainly would align with him on more things than a Hamas apologist.
Yes.
We're going to contrast the follow-ups, the pressing, the leading questions of a lady like this who just said Hamas is
a nun, a Christian nun, is who he's calling a Hamas apologist.
No, come on. Have they ever killed an American, threatened an American on American soil here? Whoa, hold on a second. I thought we were going to have an honest discussion. So let's go to who first. Who is Mother Stephanopoulos? Of course, George Stephanopoulos' sister, former Clinton advisor and broadcaster, George Stephanopoulos. This is his sister. She's obviously been connected for quite a while. She's a U.S.-born Russian Orthodox nun. She does have a very long history of flat out lying, just to be clear, like factually in a verifiable way, lying. So
Verifiable way. We're going to look at the sources that Crowder cites here. Things like the Jerusalem Post or the let's play.
2002 Palestinian terrorists seized the Church of Nativity in Bethlehem.
No. So this is the siege of the Nativity at Bethlehem. This is during the Second Intifada, which was provoked by Israel, storming the Temple Mount or the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and also the sort of insult that was the Oslo Accords. So, so what happens is a bunch of Palestinians take refuge inside this Church of the Nativity, and Israel lays siege to it for 40 days. And here's a Franciscan monk at the time. Let's just see, I guess maybe this guy's a Hamas supporter, as Stephen Crowder would like to say. But
And this is where it starts to get a little funny for Americans, because you start to have the Protestant Zionists that are, Christian megachurch, all of these guys that are very, very much, they can fall into supporting Israel because they believe that Israel is the chosen nation, that they are the chosen people. And then you go a step further into, Stephen Crowder is going to say Russian Orthodox. He doesn't go to say the third part, Russian Orthodox Christianity, right? Where it is just Orthodox Christianity, to where they don't agree with anything whatsoever with Judaism. They sort of go at the head of it. And it's a very, very funny dichotomy, the split between, okay, well, you're Christian, but are you an American Christian? Or, and it sort of leaves a lot of this newer generation to have to figure all of that crap out.
See who he blames.
I've been warning for days now that an attack is imminent. And on behalf of my brothers calling on the church and the world to intervene with the Israeli government to persuade it not to launch it. What we have heard instead are lying promises, day after day, hour after hour, from the Israeli government to the whole world that they will never attack. There were signs of an impending attack. There were many signs.
So Israel was saying that the Christians are lying, that we're holding up with the Palestinians in this church, that they were lying. They were actually held hostages, and the Israelis were trying to save them from being held hostage by the Palestinians. No, Stephanopoulos' sister was one of the Christians who was in the church saying, no, actually, Israel needs to back the fuck off and stop storming all of our shit. And Crowder is just taking that hook, line, and sinker. It is disgraceful how much he's willing to, I'm sorry, overlook Christians and listen to the Israeli state's line on all these things. So this is who he cites. Go ahead.
No, I mean, it makes sense, though, given what, his lack of popularity, because we're seeing this, too, now. It was just in Axios that Israel is openly courting right-wing influencers, and I would imagine that there are some people that are very much interested, including a guy like Tim Pool, who met with him, and Dave Rubin, Benjamin Netanyahu, that is, are very interested in some extra subsidization for their content.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to read this quote that's up there right now, if you can put this up, Brian. And let's see, in 2025, if we're who we want to be skeptical of this claims here. Israeli army spokesmen say statements made by the priests indicate that the clergy in the church are being held hostage by Palestinian militants. A spokesman for the Franciscan order told reporters that the clergy inside were voluntary hostages who were remaining in the church to show solidarity with trapped Palestinians because they believed that their presence in the church would help avoid future bloodshed. And Crowder puts that up on screen, very small, I might add, probably too small to read in this brief moment that he puts it up. But he's saying the Christians are lying. Trust the Israelis.
I don't think anyone necessarily wants to trust any fundamentalist religion, no matter what it is. But it is pretty fitting that Stephen Crowder's audience is going to be made up of, the husbands that are saying, it's in the Bible that women must submit to their husbands. I think that even Crowder said that in that one video where he was cursing out his pregnant wife, where he's just saying, you must submit to me. It's, and I'm sure they're going to use every single thing. So now it's like, okay, well, what do you actually believe in, right? Besides just what are we doing at this point? It really, it's falling apart right before our eyes.
lying. So in 2002, Palestinian terrorists seized the Church of Nativity in Bethlehem, and they took monks as hostages. And she misrepresented a whole lot of their string of emails written by her.
I was just saying these are citing the Jewish press, and I couldn't access this article when I tried to earlier. But I'll just say I don't trust that source. I'll take the Franciscan monks, those liars. I'll take their word over it.
I mean, I just went to the Jewish Press website, and the first article is Judea and Samaria, summer is here. Looking for something to do?
What a shock! Exactly. I mean, this is Crowder's news. Trust that over the Christians or the Catholics, right, Stephen?
Israeli soldiers of shooting up a medical clinic, defecating on its floor, looting.
Oh, yeah, let's get this. He's saying this is lies. This actually sounds exactly like the IDF.
Yeah.
I mean, again, 2025, buddy. Let's update our priors.
Hostages, and she misrepresented a whole lot of their string of emails written by her accusing Israeli soldiers of shooting up a medical clinic, defecating on its floor, looting, robbing Palestinian homes. Sometimes there are articles that say she accused people falsely of rape. Now, keep in mind, she always said this is what.
Where were those articles? Were those from the Jewish press too, Stephen?
So there we have it, you guys. Emma Vigeland going in on Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder wanting to, I guess, just take any type of paycheck he can, no matter who it's coming from. Maybe that Rumble money is not doing him too well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, though. It's another day in the progressive way.